Hello from Sydney.
Oh, I love Sydney so much.
Where are you right now?
Los Angeles.
I lived there for about 10 years.
Ooh.
And it's interesting being in a city that no one's kind of really from there, certainly not in the circles that I was traveling in.
Yeah.
Everyone's from somewhere else.
Mhm.
And everyone's there with a solitary purpose. I guess, thinking about that, I wonder, what was it like for you? Like you grew up in Kansas, right? Now you're somewhere where it's cold and people can't use vowels properly. You're going to Berkeley, you're out in Berkeley.
You have a point there. Yeah.
What was it like when you landed there, and was it a fish out of water situation?
Well, yeah, that was my first time really in a big city other than Kansas City, which is not a big city. And it was definitely a learning curve. Boston is a big college town, so a lot of other kids my age, and it's sort of built to where a college kid can kind of ramble around a certain area and not get hurt, and
Yeah.
and not, cause too much damage.
You're a parent. What does it mean when you go away from your home, all right, away from your family of origin, your structure, but you then find yourself in a different place? What does it give you, and why do you think it might be important to surround yourself with people who are all going in the same direction, like what happened with you when you went to music school?
Well, because after you've lived life for a while, like you and I have, um, you realize that life is really truly about relationships and how you feel, and surrounding yourself with people that understand that support you, that believe, and you can believe in them and be inspired by them. And people have come and gone in my life, over the last 40 years, and once I had my own family, then that narrows down my relationships and my time, because I spent most of it, with them, and I still do. That my immediate family is now my closest relationships, and then I have others outside of that.
Our eldest, my stepdaughter's 20, and I look at the pressure that, how the fuck can you know what it is you want to do when you're 19?
I know. Yeah, I've got 17-year-olds, and
Yeah.
and it's just like, take your time. It's gonna unroll in front of you. There's things that you don't know. I was completely obsessed with music from day one, and so it was much easier for me to just follow that. But I don't think we should even call people grown up until they're like 30, at least 30.
Yeah.
I'm glad that my first album didn't come out till I was 27. So I'd already grown up a little bit. And written bad songs, and was able to then write better
Oh
songs
yeah.
later.
This idea that your first, song that you debut, that you drop on Spotify or you debut on Instagram is going to be the one.
I am so happy there was none of that when I was, 18 or 19. Oh my God. I'm so glad none of that is available to anyone.
Is there a box of like Tascam 4 tracks somewhere in your house?
Maybe not even like cassettes, like little tiny cassettes.
Oh man, I've got some of them. But now it's unheard of that someone who's 27 would show up with a major pop release. What would you say about having a fairly decent well of emotional experiences to draw on by the time you get to that debut?
That's exactly it. Because we're just learning, we keep learning. And I'm so, so grateful that my songs were of my later 20s, that, and I know when I hear songs and they're like, it's 16 years old. I'm like, oh no, they're just making this up. They've never oh yeah. Anyway.
It's tough, man.
Yeah.
It's tough. The line, you've got your whole life to write your first album and 6 months to write your second, is very, very true. As you go on through your career and, you keep putting records out, you keep releasing, at what point I'll give you an analogy. I used to work in breakfast radio, and at 11 o'clock, if we were still in meetings, our boss would be like, get out of here, go drive a different way home. You've got to have something to talk about tomorrow. You need to go and have experiences. Otherwise, there's nothing. We've got 3 hours to make a show tomorrow. So go.
Right.
Does the, kind of filling that bucket of experience up in between records become a thing that you deliberately pursue?
Yes, especially now. I haven't had an album of new music released since, I think it was 2017. So I released one during the pandemic of something I recorded before, and it was older songs. And I am now spending this year. There's also going to be a live album of mine coming out in this our summer, your winter, and I am taking my time,
Yeah.
examining what my life has been like over the last 10 years and things to write about. And I'm enjoying taking this time rather than just trying to, oh, what's a hit song? What can I come up with? But really make it something that people are like, oh, where's Melissa at? Let's listen to the experiences now. That's what I want to do.
So when it comes to that experiences that you could draw on, your life has had
Yeah.
so many
Yeah.
ups
Yeah.
and downs.
Yeah.
Where for you is the line of, yeah, I can talk about this, or other people are involved, so I might have to be a bit obtuse about this?
Oh, I probably should be a little bit more uh, there's a word I can't reach right now, but it's
Discerning?
yeah, discerning. There you go. Because
Sure.
what I did was I wrote a book. I wrote a book last year, last couple of years. I wrote a book, and I put everything in there that I kind of was like, look, I'm this is the truth as I know it, as I
Yeah.
remember it, and everything that's happened and everything. I'm not into making anybody feel bad or anything. So I just want to create music that people can relate to, but that also is very personal and comes from my heart.
You have, though, quite a superpower in that not everyone has the ability to express what's going on inside their bodies. All right. So, for various reasons, this morning my brain did some stuff, and now my wife's mad at me, and it's right that she is. But I can't put into words what's happening inside. Right. I can't actually explain to you even what the sensation is in my
Hmm.
body. I feel like I've got a flu. I don't,
Oh,
but there's something kind of weird. Yet the right song, the right book, usually the right song, because I'm a sucker for a good key change, and a big note will get me every time.
hmm.
You get to go, oh, that's it. The thing I was telling you about, that's what it is. Go listen to that or go read that. You have an ability to put it into words that might help other people process it, or at least share with others to help them kind of understand what's going on. Do you see that there's a thing that you can give people with that?
I have seen the response that people
Yeah.
have given me. I've seen the people come up and say, your song helped me, this helped me, your album helped me, this helped me.
Yeah. Well,
And that's everything. And then I do realize I do enjoy taking that feeling that, oh, and finding that word and just pulling it out of the ether and then creating an emotion that's I'm honored and blessed to have that be my work. I love that.
because when I think, fuck me, sorry, I generally don't cry when I do these, but when I think about some of the grief that you've had to
Yeah,
face,
I understand.
and some of the life or death situations you've had to face,
Hmm.
and one in a lifetime's enough, but the things that have stacked upon you, what is it, Melissa? What is it that gets you here today smiling?
Oh, you know, it's a deep belief. It's a deep, you could call it spiritual belief in this life and what it's all about and why I'm here as a living, breathing, spiritual being inside this meat suit. This is yeah, this is my deep belief, and if anyone wants to really go deeper, go into my book,
Yeah.
Talking to My Angels, and it's um, it's just it's a belief that joy is important and that people make their own choices, even family members, even my son who uh, you know struggled with opioid use disorder and finally passed away from a fentanyl overdose almost 4 years ago now. And it's it's the understanding that he does not want me to feel guilt or shame. He does not want me to stop my life. He's out of pain now. He's in a place that is, I believe, pure positive energy, and he's there rooting for me, and he wants me to be happy. So I want to be that and find that and find the way of knowing that I've done the best I can and to keep going.
Oh man. It's yeah, I don't know. I'm nearly, I don't know, about 2 weeks. I'll be 14 years. Um,
Oh, my friend.
yeah. So
Yeah. There are,
knowing that,
there's some lucky members of your family.
bro,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah. Thank you.
I can only imagine. I can only imagine how that, to that you're able to come to that. What you've just told me that you're able to be there. I know the the amount of sets and reps of heavy fucking deadlifts you've had to do to get there. Doesn't happen by accident.
No, no, it's a deep belief, and it's a love. It's a love that I have for him, a love that I
Yeah,
have for my wife and my family, a love that I have for myself. I think it comes from that of knowing how hard it was and being able to move on and understand we're all going to die. We're not getting out of this alive, and may I go as long as I can and create as much as I can, and the whole point is just to enjoy this moment right now, because this is all there is, and this is all that will ever be, is this moment. We will never be in tomorrow. We will only be right here.
it seems so simple when you
I
say it out
know.
loud.
I know. It's a rough one to understand because it's so simple.
and and we have the most control over it as well. We have the most control over this bit,
How you
but we spend
feel.
so much time worrying about that thing that we've got no
Mm,
control over, or that thing that we could have
could be
chosen
good.
differently.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's your left brain. We're this is a dualistic universe,
Yeah,
and we are even divided. Our brains are divided: left side, right side. Left side is in charge of worrying about the future and regretting the past, and your right side is right now. And
yeah.
it's the creative, and our whole society is based on problem solving, which is the left side. And so it's up to us to really, and musicians and artists, we're all right brained and flighty, and so it's just about a balance, about getting a balance.
When you are watching your kids grow up
Mm.
as their brains start to get wired, and I know, don't know about you, but our youngest is 4.5, and I
Yeah.
look at him and I'm like, I can't be mad at you for doing that, because the impulse control part of your brain doesn't actually exist yet.
Yes.
You can't not throw that thing. Come here, buddy. When you were, when your kids were first little, did you find a bit of that going on? Did you find a bit of kind of a fascination, I guess, in maybe forgiving yourself?
Well, it took a while because I had 4 children. I had two, and then 10 years later I had two others. So by the time I had gone through sort of everything with the first two in those first 10 years, I was like, "Oh, now I know you guys are." When the other two came, and they were twins at the same time, and so when they came, it was like, "Oh, I know that you come fully formed. You are you." I thought that I could somehow shape their personalities and make them be this. Oh no, they are so fully. They come with a full package when they come in, and they have their own personalities, ideas, and all I can do is feed and water them and love them and love them and love them and love them.
That's a very short parenting book, but I like it.
Okay. Yeah.
Feed them, water them, love them, love them. The end.
Yeah.
that's
Good
that,
luck.
that's really it. That's really it. When you're out on the road, when you're away, when they're little, it must have been difficult. But what, like, you coming to Australia? It's a long way away. You
Yeah,
know.
well, I'm going to bring one of my kids with me. I'm
Whoa.
really excited. It's one of my youngest daughter. Her twin brother would come. I just can't. I don't know. I don't know why he's not interested in coming to Australia. I don't know. He's a tech, really brainy video guy, and
Yeah.
I'm like, you got to come see Australia. But
What
I'm
does he want to do instead?
I I don't know. He's on online school, and he's doing. I don't know. I really don't know. But my daughter and my wife are going to both come with me, and it's
Nice.
so exciting because I want to go to the zoo. I want to see your funny animals. I want to, I just love you. Australians are so much fun, and so personable, and your food is delicious, and I'm excited. I'm excited about doing it all.
I'm grateful you're coming back. And
Yeah.
I mean, clearly you're selling out before you know,
Yay.
weeks before you got here, months before you got here. So
Yeah.
people, what does it feel like knowing that people on the other side of the world are that excited to see you?
It never gets old. For the first time back in 88, 89, when I heard that Australia liked my first album, I was like, Australia? What? I've never been there. They don't know me. But man, it never gets old. Saying, "Oh, you still like this music? You still want to hear this? This is so exciting. So exciting."
I worked, like I said, I worked in radio for a long time, and I have this kind of theory that we have undercover country songs in our charts quite a
Undercover
lot.
country songs. I agree. Country is very strange right now. Not strange. It's basically pop rock music, but
Yeah.
undercover, and there's a lot of country artists that come from Australia. Hello.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So our charts have been full of like bands that don't wear the hats and they don't do the thing with their voice.
Yeah, well,
But that's a country song.
yeah, yeah, oh yeah, and it's funny because I'm wearing the hats now,
Ah, yeah.
so
Hey, look, you earned it, mate.
I'm
You
gonna,
earned it.
I'm gonna wear the hats, and you decide where the music goes.
Oh, yeah, look, I played double bass in the country band for a while, and we were legit because we had 10 members in the band. So
Legit, no money, 10 members. That's country.
absolutely, absolutely, double figures. And I smoked soft pack Peter Stuyvesant for about 6 weeks.
Oh, okay. You went all in.
I had a denim shirt and a trucker hat. I was real into Hank Williams at the
Oh
time.
yeah. Come on. Come on.
Yeah, I don't know where that double bass is now. I think it's in somebody's studio somewhere.
Oh, that's
It's a
nice.
hard
That's
thing
not
to.
easy. That's hard to
If you're not in a band, like every time you move house, your girlfriend's like, "What the fuck? Why?" You know,
play. Girlfriend.
it's like get rid of it. Get rid of it. Now, I don't know. Being you, you go. Do you show up at the Super Bowl with your Grammy and go, "Hey, look, I've got this. I'm from Kansas. Can you let me in?"
I have been invited to the Super Bowl. I didn't have to talk anybody up, but I'm so used to sitting at home watching the Super Bowl with my family, and it becomes an event that if I went to a Super Bowl, I'd have to talk to people. I'd be the famous person, and I'd have to talk to them, and I don't want to. I want to watch the football game. So I have passed. Someday I will do it when it's the right. I don't know what makes it the right thing, but for now, I just love
They're going to go back to back. They're going to go back to back. Don't you worry. They'll go back to back. I relate to that so immensely.
You a footy fan?
When people say, like, I've reached a certain age and because of the job that I've done, oh, you want to go to this thing? There's like, how much laminate is around my ticket?
Right.
And how many A's are written on it? Because my couch is amazing.
I know.
And season 4 of True Detective is...
Yes. It is so hard to get us out, especially because that's our job is we're out.
Yeah.
So when I come home, I want to be home.
Yeah. But to be true, truth be told, people are giving in our country at the moment, for God knows whatever reason, people are giving Taylor Swift a lot of shit because she flew with a private plane here. It's like, and people are sending videos around of how she gets into the stadium, but I don't think people quite gather when someone is quite recognizable like yourself in the right crowd, that is actually very dangerous.
Yeah.
Crowd crushes are fucking dangerous thing.
100%. 100%. You cannot fault her anything.
No.
And her own personal health is her business. If anything happened to her, if anything happened to anybody else, no, it's even though people love her, that's another. I've seen audiences move up because I've reached down to touch somebody's hand and then there's this crush and I'm like, Jesus Christ, and I run to the other side just to stop that. And it's frightening because you don't want somebody to get hurt because people love you, they don't understand that can be dangerous.
In the moment, no, not at all. And so I guess I'm alluding to the fact that, like, if you're going to go out, you might try. I'm trying to find a phone. You might try to watch a football game, but most of your day will be like, hey, like that,
Oh, you have no
you know?
idea. Yeah, it's a selfie. Yeah, okay, okay. Yeah, can I have yes, I can take yes, okay, okay, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
no, it's a lot of
yeah.
that. And I don't say no because I love people and I love how they love my music. So I have to be when I go out, if I don't want to be bothered, I should
Can
not
I have a
go out.
drink? I'm trying to eat my cookie. Oh,
Well, I know, and then you food and everything everywhere.
I'm here with my kids.
Yeah, I know.
Give me a second here. Give me a second.
Yeah.
I have a bit of a different brain, as I mentioned when we first got on the call. In times, I've been very, very, very unwell. The psychiatrist that's really, really helped me. He works at a place here called the Black Dog Institute, and he's been on the show. He is the lead researcher in the clinical trials of using psilocybin
Yep.
in pharmaceutical and big like proper
Yeah.
like we're not Bill Hicks in the woods where you know
You're in an
you
office
sit
and
down
you're
in a
having
room,
it.
you go to a
Yeah.
clinic, there's people there.
A clinic. Yeah.
This is something that's definitely on your radar. At what point did you start to explore this sort of thing?
Well, I first had an experience. It was an accidental overdose of cannabis back in, good God, 2003. So that's,
I've got the chills just thinking of it.
yeah,
I've done that.
like 20 years ago. And it opened my mind, it opened my eyes, it changed me,
Hmm.
and it sort of set me on a kind of a spiritual path and a plant medicine path.
Hmm.
And I've done psilocybin, I've done ayahuasca,
Wow.
um, and I really and it's very personal. And you can't really, hey, you should go. It's
You're not in the car park at a Grateful Dead show.
no, no.
No.
It's all set and setting. It's very important
Yeah.
where you do it, why you do it, who you do it with, and it's a very grown up thing. And I was a huge believer in it and a huge supporter, and it wasn't until my son started becoming addicted and I realized the problem he had, and I was looking for and wishing and hoping that these sort of things were open, that because his only choice at the time was sober up and AA, and you kind of just don't do it, and it never really dealt with his own psychological issues. And I think that plant medicines, psychedelics, help us so much to understand ourselves, to connect with our just to connect us back with our delight of life and
Yeah.
why and love and sort of these ideas that we get, well, the knowledge that we go away from, the knowledge that we are all one, and how important love is, and relationship with ourselves. And when he passed away, to help with my grief,
Mm.
I formed what's called the Etheridge Foundation, and it raises money solely for research into psychedelics and how they can help in so many different ways with opioid use disorder, with
Yeah.
pain, with all the things that lead us to choose opioids instead of something more healthy. And it's been amazing, and we get so much done. And if any of your listeners are interested, it's etheridgefoundation.org. You can donate. We always take funds. You can check out, get the information. But there's
Mm.
so much incredible work doing around the world with cannabis, psilocybin, actually ayahuasca. We're helping fund a one of the first research ever, legal research, is in Australia. There's a doctor there who you growing your own vine and leaf down in Australia and working to see what the how it can help with getting people off opioids.
From what I know about where we are with using plant medicine and
Hmm.
psychedelics, in that this stuff people started exploring it in the 50s and the 60s, but those things escaped the laboratories and they started to get street use, and dosages that were just really unsafe started happening unsupervised and without structure, and people get really, really, really
Yeah.
damaged, and that was it. Illegal, over.
Unfortunately,
And we lost 50 years of time.
yes, we did. Yes, and now you cannot deny it. A study we're doing in Spain with ibogaine, which is a psychedelic root from Africa, and the Spanish government is helping fund also because they have programs for heroin addicts that can get on
Mm.
methadone, but then they're on methadone for 15, 20 years and they want to get them off of that. So they are running trials there. We're helping fund that. And the results, does this get them off of methadone? But they stop smoking, they stop drinking, and they change their life. And that's what it's about.
It's profound. It's these under the right conditions. Like bear in mind, like we're not talking about, you're in the back of a panel van watching
No,
the sunset. No,
you're not. This is in a
you're in a
doctor's
clinic,
office.
and there's in the stuff that Adam does, there's two psychologists in the room because they want to be sure that you're not led astray because you are just so open and so raw. But I the very simplest version would be just fundamentally rewriting the neural pathways that can re-regulate our dopamine and reward systems.
There you go.
And then with it only takes 1 or 2 sessions.
Yeah.
And on the other side of it, that compulsion isn't there anymore.
Yeah.
And for anybody that's never had a problem with addiction, you might just go, hey, just don't do it. Yeah. That's like saying don't swat a mosquito that's sucking blood out of your arm.
Yeah.
Like, there it is.
You do. Yeah.
You can't not. And but it's a function of the brain. So to be able to reprogram that in such a low impact way, it's profound. And I'm so excited over the next couple of years about what lies ahead. And hopefully the misunderstanding around things like addiction, that it's a choice,
Yeah.
it's or that people choose to have lives like that. It's
yeah.
I don't know, in your earlier years, you're 27 years old, you're writing these songs, you're like, yeah, that note, I can hit that note. Fuck yeah.
Right.
Boom, here we go. And now people want you to sing that song.
Oh, sometimes I'm so mad at my 25-year-old self. What were you thinking? Over and over, night after night, like the way I do.
Exactly. How do you protect the asset? What do you do to stay match fit?
It is, I approach it like an athlete would. It's about sleep. It's about diet. It's about as low inflammatory stuff as I can. I mean, when I'm not working, I'll have cheese in this and some bread and some sugar over here. But boy, when I'm on the road, it is clean, and that keeps all this open. It's staying low stress, and then just relaxing and not having to push all the time, knowing that these people know these songs. I don't have to impress them anymore. I'm good. And letting it go and just knowing that I'm enough. I don't have to push anymore.
I think to translate that for people who haven't won Grammys for the music they've written, it would be as simple as saying, I'm enough.
Yeah.
I'm already good enough. I don't have to work hard to do that.
Yeah.
Just as long as I look after myself and, keep my side of the street and keep calm here, we're going to be sweet.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good plan of attack. Melissa, you are a delight. You're a dream to speak to. I'm so excited I got to talk to you today.
Come to a
Thank you for being
show.
so honest with me, and thanks for being open.
You gotta come to a show, okay?
You're doing the full lap.
And I started in Perth. I've never started in Perth.
Oh, well, that's good because ending in Perth, it's a much longer trip home. Way longer trip home.
So this time
it's as wide as
trip down.
It's LA to New York. It's that long.
So I was actually just today showing my daughter the map of Australia, and I was like, see, from here to here is just as long from LA to New York. Yeah. It's like the whole United States. So
Perth is great. It's such a great town. And
I remember the first time I was there in like 90, it was like Western small town. And now it's grown so much.
Well, there's a place called China that's really into iron ore. And so
yeah. All the minerals just bam.
They've got a lot of it. But it's you're going the whole trip, which is superb. Adelaide's great. I don't know if you're into art, but one of the guys, because there's all that great vineyards down in South Australia, at the Darrenberg Vineyard, that guy's got the license to tour large-scale Dalis. So there's like in the middle of the mall, the big kind of pedestrian mall in the middle of the city, there's an elephant on stilts. It's huge. And there's like 13 or 14 of them now. It's bonkers.
Oh my God. This is in Adelaide?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait.
Get your TM on that. Quick sticks.
Okay. All right. I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah, it's proper. It's super, super fun. Then you're heading up to the Gold Coast for the the Blues and Broadbeach Festival, which I don't know if you've been to before, but
No.
I was there for 3 months living, and the building we were in, it was right below.
Oh.
And it's a good time. They close the streets off, and it's pretty fun. So you're gonna have a pretty good time. And you've already sold out the Sydney show, which is good. Great room, that one.
Great.
You know what? I've worked there a couple of times, and some rooms backstage, you're literally Spinal Tap, like running around.
Yeah.
Yeah. This joint is very well thought out.
Great.
Very well.
That's nice.
Very
That's
well
nice.
planned. I might go up to the Gold Coast because it's nice. It's warm.
Yeah. At the festival, yeah, nice warm. Yeah.